Hi, welcome to the tutorial for the Seussical Jr. Big Explain Full combination. This is, again, all meant for kids who are kind of beginners. I've also got my friend John Llama here to help me out. He's going to stand in for Horton so that we can keep track of where Horton is, because a lot of this is like looking at like, starting at the beginning, we've got Horton and the Sour Kangaroo sort of center, and they're having their little conversation. Sour Kangaroo and Young Kangaroo are doing their little thing. And then there's some bump bombs that start to come in the music. And when those happen, we're going to start doing some little bounces. I gave my kids a choice of being here and doing hip bounces, bump, 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 or same thing on the other side, or doing a head nod. I didn't want shoulder bounces for this because we're all going to go shoulder bounces in a minute. But that's in all of the bounces that are Young Kangaroo and Crouch said, hump, two, bump, 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 all through the aspects as small as I have been that whole talky bit. And then when the Sour Kangaroo actually starts singing, that's when we're all going to go to shoulders. And these are going to stay pretty small to begin with. So it's going to be two on each side alternating. So right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, and keep going through the end of that first Sour Kangaroo singing bit. And then when she does, maybe I'm nasty, maybe I'm cruel, you're the biggest blame fool. There's like big beats in the music on each of those. All the other people can do a pose, another pose on each of those three beats. And then we get Horton's bit, it's true, please believe me. And the music goes back to the bump bars here. So again, this can be some small bounces. This can be sort of character motivated. So if it's someone like Gertrude, who maybe is agreeing with Horton, it might be more like a head nod. Someone who's not as interested, it could be like a sort of head back and forth. Again, like a hip or a character. Then at the end of that bit, we've got the Wickershams coming in. So hop, left a voice, hop, left some others. This will vary a little bit depending on how many Wickershams you have. I've done it mostly for 3, but it also works for 4. So the first hop, left a voice, that'll be the first Wickersham can sort of come up to stage right of Horton. And then the other ones can come up to stage left. Hop, hop, hop. Left the Wickersham brothers. As that's happening, one of the Wickershams sort of guides Horton over to stage left and puts him over there. And he stays there for a while. So then we've got that little music section just before the Wickershams start singing. So the da 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 da. I had this original one way, and then we had to change it because it was a little bit too tricky. So I'll show you both. The original one that I had is 2 sets of do-si-dos. So numbers 1 and 2 do a do-si-do together. So linking arms going around each other. And then 2 and 3 around each other. Which, if it's that, then number 3 is the one who moves forward, so that they have time to get back. And then all 3 of them grab hands, sort of go in a circle. We want to, without time to do all of that, so it can also work to either just do the do-si-dos or just do the circle. If you had 4, then it would be each pair on the outside does a do-si-do, and then we get into the actual Wickersham singing section. So this is where the movements start to get a little bit bigger. So it's going to start with some shoulders, but these are bigger shoulders with the chest also. So it's going to go right, right, left, left. So he's the biggest blame fool in the jungle of Newell. And then monkeys like us should know. You're going to sort of lean to the left, angle your body to the right a little bit. Monkeys like us, as if you're going to like pop a collar or something. Monkeys like us should know. That's right hand pointing to the head. We've been out on a limb. So right arm, left arm out. Looking down on him. So that's up and then down, I've done it with 2 fingers. It can be 1 finger. It can be 1 hand. Out on a limb, looking down on him, and then he's fat, he's dumb, he's slow. This is each person doing it in a canon depending on who's doing the solo. So each of them will just be this other one. So he's fat, he's dumb, he's slow, etc. So the first one will be he's fat, he's dumb, he's slow. Second one, he's fat, he's dumb, he's slow, etc. If you've got 4 of them, the 4th one can go on the after. He's fat, he's dumb, he's slow. So they're all here. And then we've got elephants saying too swift as a rule. So Orton's still over there to stage left. So we're going to take our left hand with the thumb and we're going to sort of gesture to him. Elephants ain't 2. So that's also a little bit of a lead that way as we're doing that. Elephants ain't 2. And then swift as a rule, you're going to flatten out that left hand. Take your right hand and sort of slide across it. Swift as a rule, but he's the biggest blame fool. That's just sort of a hands up and swimming in the jungle of Newell. That's cross right over left, hands out to the side, and just twist around. Elephants ain't too swift as a rule. It's the biggest blame fool in the jungle of Newell. And now this is where we've got more people joining in for talking to a speck. So the talking to a speck, did you hears, and biggest blame fools that everybody sings is going to be the each one of them has one move that will be the same time every time we do it. So this is talking to a speck. So if we're talking to a speck, we're gonna do a little talking motion with our hands. You're gonna be right arm first, right across from the left to the right, talking to a speck. Same thing on the left, going the other way, talking to a speck, and then do a little ball change step. So back on the right, forward on the left, together, do a speck of dust. So dust is hold your left hand flat, and then flick like you're flicking a little bit of dust. Talking to a speck, talking to a speck of dust. Then Sarah Kangaroo does R-E-S-P-E-C-K. Please take that speck away. This can be another 2 poses. It can just be sort of generally any poses, or it can be the first one is everyone leans away from Sarah Kangaroo, and everyone needs to play Sarah Kangaroo. R-E-S-P-E-C-K. Please take that speck away. Just 2 poses there. And then we're into Did You Hear? So Did You Hear is fairly similar to talking to a speck. The feet are going to be exactly the same, but the hands are going to be different to go with different words. So it's going to be right hand up to the ear, did you hear? Then left hand to the ear, did you hear? And then a ball change step, so back on the right, step on the left, together on the right, did you hear? Right hand to the ear. Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? Through the jungle, the news quickly flew. You can do some little bounces here. Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? Talks to a dust speck in its own channel too. And then this is we've got the whole cat in the hat reporter business happening. This can just be some bounces, or it can be moving to new spots or whatever it needs to be. And then we've got a big explain tool in the jungle that everybody sings. So for this, we're just going to do a grapevine. It's going to go to the right first, then to the left. So step on the right, cross behind on the left, out on the right, touch with the left, step on the left, that's behind on the right, step on the left, right. Biggest blame food in the jungle of Newell, and then you can bounce in between the reporter and Gertrude, I think it is at this point you're talking. Biggest blame food in the jungle of Newell. It's never done anything crazy before. This is another did you hear? So same thing, did you hear? 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 This is Maisie. And so enough about Horton, let's talk about me. And then the bird girls try and talk about me. The bird girls can come up to where Maisie is with the reporter, or the cat in the hat. Talk about me. We'll do another little cannon with some arms, diagonal, whichever way makes the most sense. If you've got 3 bird girls, then Maisie can also do this if you want her to, either on the first one or the 4th one. So talk about. So people going on whichever one, talk about, etc. They all hold it until the me, and then for me. the push and push. Then that goes into another talking to a speck. So same thing as before, talking to a speck, talking to a speck, to a speck of dust, talking to a speck, talking to a speck, to a speck of dust. And then this is where we get that Horton and Gertrude little duet that is slower and sort of different than the whole rest of the song. Again, there's still over on stage left. Everyone else at this point can go into a slow motion. And I find that the best way for an audience to really read that it is slow motion is if the motions become really, really big and slow. So this can be a lot of like, what are they talking about? That's so ridiculous. But if you do that nice and big, then it's really clear that it's slow motion. And we're in that until the chorus comes back in and interrupts the end of that. And that's coming back in on Biggest Lame Fool. So we're going to do Grapevine again to the right and then to the left. Biggest Lame Fool in the Jungle of Mule. He's the worst we ever saw. So our right foot is free because we've just come back on that left grapevine. So we're going to do 2 kicks. We're going to do the first one, angled over to the left a little bit, then angled over to the right, and then a ball change step. So kick, kick, back on the right, step on the left, step on the right. And then same thing with the other leg. Kick, angle over to the right, kick, angle over to the left, back on the left, step on the right, step on the left. The biggest men fool in the Jungle of Mule. He's the worst we ever saw. Ellen lies, making jokes. It's an elephant hoax. On Brother, that's against the law. We're all going to point to where Horton is and do a look. I think it's on the word that's is where the like big B is. Brother, that's against the law. Breaking the piece, creating a fuss. So on breaking, you're going to bring your right knee up and take your hands like that, like you're breaking something over your knee. Breaking the piece, creating a fuss. Left leg is going to kick forward, or right leg, sorry. Right leg is going to kick from where it is, and you can sort of throw your hands down to the right. So breaking the piece, creating a fuss. Somebody's thinking different than us. We can look at Sour Kangaroo, who at this point has now gone over to Horton, or is on their way over to Horton. Somebody's thinking different than us. Sour Kangaroo then brings Horton back over to the middle, and everyone forms a circle around Horton. Biggest Lame Fool. And then we've got in the Jungle. So we're going to go in a circle around Horton, and we're going to do some hands. Again, there's a couple of variations here if you want them. The way that makes the most sense to me is everyone's moving around the circle on in the jungle of, and then on you pause where you are and do your arms where we're going. So if you're to the side of Horton, it's sideways arms. If you're in front of Horton, it's arms that are down. If you're to the other side, it's arms that are coming up. And then if you're behind Horton, it's arms that are coming across the top. So it'd be Biggest Lame Fool in the jungle of, in the jungle of, in the jungle of. You can also do it where it's just continuous walking, arms are bent, or walk at the same time as the arms. And then on that last one, whichever way your arms are going, the last set of arms go slow. And then when the note changes, you can bring it to like a shaky, wiggly jazz hand. And then on that button, when we end with singing, everyone brings their arms down and looks at one. So if you're to this side of him, well, if you're on this side, it might be same thing if you're in the back, and just look. Yeah. All right, I think that's about it. Do let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to help you out. I hope that this type of thing is kind of helpful for somebody. I'm perfectly happy for you to steal this choreography for your own groups, modify it in any way you want. That's why it's here. It's for watching.